Alright, got it apart, about to go to the machine shop. What did we find? Well, if you'll remember from the last video, the head gaskets didn't look, or the head gasket didn't look too great. We got the other head off. As you can see, hopefully you can see, it's burnt between the two center exhaust valves. I mean, you know, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. These two, as you can see how shiny it is, it was definitely transferring, but not enough to build up carbon like this one. Both sides of the motor, same thing. I did see some more issues though, as in from the head bolt hole to the cylinder. On the front side of the motor, there wasn't a lot of leakage between the head bolt and the cylinder. I mean, there was some, but not as much. In the back side of the motor though, on the driver's side, you've got a lot of transfer between, basically the cylinder combustion, the pressure wasn't being held in, and you can see faintly around the cylinder, you can see that faint black line, and that's where it was sealed. That's where it was trying to keep it from coming out. But as you can see here, it blew to the rear head bolt hole, which would be number 7. It blew pretty bad. Did it again here. It was sealed up okay a little bit here, but then it blew out a little bit there, more there, as you can see, and then of course really bad here, this area here, and then I mean you can see it's starting to try here. Got a little more there, but the other thing, I mean, even though it didn't blow out here, it was still losing combustion all the way around that. So, I mean, needless to say, this thing, the last time it was run, it was way down on power. But also, I mean, the corrosion is just, good lord. Like, I don't know, were they running well water in this fucking thing? I mean, I don't get it. This is that was the driver's side, this is the passenger side. So this is number 8, and it, as you can see, was transferring pressure to here. It was a little bit right there, just a little bit. You can kind of see it, and you know, coloration is everything, and I'm not sure it'll come through 100% where you guys can see what I see, but can you see what I see? But I mean, this Ray Charles could see that literally, and the corrosion is just, I mean, unreal. Then you have a little bit leaking here, but not too much, not terrible. Obviously the block side was a little bit better sealed up, so you can see it was leaking a little bit around here, but it's sealed a little better. And then of course, but not in the center. There was, I mean, there was almost, these two cylinders were almost the same. You see this line here, this weird line right here, the like shadowy line, that's like a copper gasket that has not seen combustion, has not seen fire. Okay, so at some point the fire went all the way to here. You see what I'm saying? So looking at the cylinder head, we have lots of issues on the cylinder head. I mean, man. First of all, the corrosion. The corrosion, I mean, guys, if you have any sort of performance machine, if you run straight water or straight antifreeze, if you do not run a lubricant in your water, this is where you will end up. You will end up with, I mean, exhaust, or I mean, water flowing through that can barely get through, especially on the block side, because the way this was ran before, the water pump filled the block up first, then into the head, and man, it's bad. But you can see, I mean, that corrosion there, it's eating the aluminum away, like literally getting rid of it. And it's everywhere. It's like that all over the head, the whole head. Now, remember we were talking about number 1, 3, 5, 7 here, how it was blowed out to the, how it was blowed out to the head stud hole here, and it was trying, like right there is really worrisome. I'm not sure, you know, but number 7 needs some help for sure. And if you'll look at the cylinder head, it shows number 7 is torched from the cylinder to the head bolt hole. So I'm not sure how well you can see that, but from here all the way up around this, all the way down, and then especially it was losing combustion. So like this faint line here is where it's supposed to be sealed, and you can kind of see it tried at one time, but as you can see, it blowed completely out to the spark plug hole here. And pretty much, you know, I scraped a little bit of the carbon off from between the cylinders, but it was rough. But you see this one is sealed kind of here, and then it's up there maybe, you know, a little faint line past the combustion line or whatever, but then losing it here again, losing it here again, and then losing it there again, and then kind of out here a little bit, but not super bad. But I mean, that just goes to show you it was escaping to every hole it could. So it's escaping to here, it was escaping to here, it was escaping to here, it was escaping to here, you know, it was trying to get to here even. I mean, like, combustion was, I bet at night, I bet if you had the hood off and made a dyno pull, I bet you could see fire, literally see fire coming out between the head and the block, literally. Definitely between two cylinders here. And then pretty much on this cylinder here, number 7, from here to here, so this whole area here was not sealed. I mean, you can see it's sort of sealed here, but then right past, this is I made a mark here with a Sharpie, but right past here, I mean, combustion is leaving the chamber. So all this has seen fire, all of this. And then for some reason, sealed up here a little bit, but then fire, 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 and then to the point where it torched through the head. So it slotted the cylinder head. I don't know if you can hear that, but it slotted the cylinder head. So pretty much lost combustion. Then this was literal fire to the head stud, and then trying to seal back up here again, but then fire all the way out, like literally all the way out the head. And then here again, and here again, all the way out. I mean, this whole area, it's bad. You can see here, kind of sealed up here, you know, spotty, but then loses it here. Kind of sealed up here, and then loses it here. Needless to say, that's not something that you want to see, especially if it's if it's a used motor you just purchased. This thing's gonna have to be welded up. You can see the divots in the cylinder head. You can see the deformation or whatever you want to call it, where it's burned. kind of see it maybe. There we go. Yeah, see? Kind of see it there. You see where it's burned. It's slotted to the head stud hole there. And it's pretty much slotted all the way around faintly. Yeah, you can kind of see it up here again. Little slots, little fainted slots there. So this head's going to need to be welded here, or I'm going to CC the head, which means you cover the head with, or cover one cylinder, whatever you want to do, with a piece of plexiglass or whatever you have that's flat. You clamp it or bolt it down, and then you fill up the cylinder, or you fill up the combustion chamber with I use, training fluid or whatever you want to use, and you basically use a beaker, and it tells you how many cc is this chamber. So what's the volume of this chamber pocket in the cylinder head? And hopefully maybe we get lucky and maybe we can mill enough of this down to where it doesn't have to be welded. But I don't know, man. It's quite a bit. So I don't know. We'll see there. We'll have to, that'll be something for the machinist when he takes a look at it, to see if we can. As far as the rest of the cylinder head, there was, a broken valve spring. This one I kind of started to clean up a little bit just to see if there was something that I was missing. And there again, we've got where the corrosion and the hard water, what I call hard water, where it's eating at the cylinder head. Once you start to clean it, you start to notice that it's literally like, I don't even know if milling the head is going to clean up the chunks of aluminum that ate. I mean, look at that. That's right there. That's deep. So if you guys aren't running, oh my god, that one's really deep too. If you guys aren't running some sort of lubricant in your cooling system, you need to start now. And then also maintenance that you should be doing would be some sort of coolant flush or lubrication regularly, getting rid of old, putting in new, taking care of it. And then especially if you start having some sort of a leak or seepage, because then you start getting combustion, and that enters the water as well. Today is one of the first nicest days of the year, one of the first beautiful days of the year, and we're going to take Jackie's engine to the machine shop. But I mean, dang, old Wanda's been in storage for a few months waiting on old man winter to go away, and I'm not gonna lie, she's looking pretty rough, looking pretty filthy. I mean, look at the windshield. What is that? I don't understand how something can get this dirty when it's put up. So let's give it a quick rinse, a little hand mint action. And then we'll take Jackie's engine to the machine shop. For those of you that don't know, Wanda is a very special truck. Finish up this little journey. Ooh, gonna have to move the vet out, get Wanda in so that I can finish the details, little tire shine, little whatnot. But It's not even a one-piece flex plate. But is this on time lapse or what? Oh. Anybody that's building a really high RPM racing engine, it's going to see a lot of abuse. I would recommend not having a welded flex plate. I'd recommend a single billet flex plate from Mazier or somebody, like what I run on my car. But these do have their place on budget builds. I have them on some of my stuff. All right, we got everything? One piece of cheese?
No.
What's wrong, you don't like cheese?
That's the most old man thing you'd ever do.
Eat cheese is old? That's for old people?
Old men eat meat and cheese.
Nah, so do Vikings.
You're not a Viking.
Which I might be.
Did you warn him? Oh, good.
Alright. Alright.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Gerald.
Hello. You already burned it up?
Yeah.
Apparently it was burnt up.
Is she filming shit?
Yeah, she's already filming. She's already got the camera out.
Everyone's gonna love you, Gerald.
Jackie has this theory that
You're gonna be famous on our YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Everybody loves me.
like
Yeah.
Raymond, but everybody loves Gerald.
Everyone loves Gerald. They want you to start a YouTube channel.
Where is she? I
Where
hear
me?
her. I hear her.
Go.
Oh, hi, there she is. There she is. She's so neglected.
She passed you right up and
Yeah,
came
she
to
did.
me.
That's the first time this ever
Look, she
happened.
says, I want to be on YouTube.
What am I? What am I, chopped liver?
You chopped liver.
Every
Yeah.
time I come in, she goes right to me.
She likes females
Yes,
better.
man, so do I.
He's jealous.
So here's the deal. Okay, check this out. I know this is gonna be fucking crazy,
Hey.
but we were working on the car. She bought this. Yeah, we'll get to that. She bought this deal used. Okay, and it's supposed to have 30 passes on it, but it was in good shape. Made a fucking bunch of horsepower. You know what I mean? Made a bunch. So barefoot. But while we were working on it, she was putting valve cover gaskets on, sealing them to the head. And when she went to pull the valve cover off, the head stud come out with it. Half of it anyway. So I had just had the valve covers off 3 days before that, and they were all fine. So somehow that thing just sitting there, not doing nothing for months. In the last 2 weeks or whatever, broke a head stud, sent it out of the head so hard that it dented the valve cover.
Yeah.
Dude, blew my mind. Couldn't believe it. I was looking at her like, what'd you do? Like,
They're probably 3/8 tapered
So,
down studs. Yeah.
yeah, these ones here, whatever, are 3/8
Yep.
to 7/16. So it broke. Thankfully, when I got the head off, there was this much sticking up out of the block so I could get a hold of it. I mean, it came out with my fingers. I probably could have got it out with the head on if I would have worked at it, but luckily I took it
Well,
off.
you needed
So,
to.
see, they didn't use any lubricant in their cooling system or whatever, and they had some problems there. So it was like corroding really bad. But then, man, I mean, dude, I've never seen head gaskets that were leaking that bad everywhere. And I mean, especially
There's no
there.
O-ring.
No, they said that they said it was O-ring, but it's not. But these are supposed to have some sort of an O-ring in the gasket, but. And the dude that originally built the motor...
Well, that's that SCE deal.
Yeah, the Titan or whatever.
Yeah, they split it and stick the O-ring in it.
Yeah. So, I talked to the guy who originally built it. The word on the street is he builds badass small block nitrous motors or whatever. So, I was, you know, interested in it. And the power that they said it made, which I've seen the dyno videos and everything, it's insane. But this is one of the main reasons why we stayed carbureted with it.
I mean, is it leaking?
This is the worst one is there. So I think it's either going to be welded or decked, and it's all the way around here.
Yeah, it's probably just a light surface, so
That'd be amazing. And then this is kind of rough. I know.
Yeah.
It's slotted pretty good.
Yeah, a little weld won't be a big deal.
Okay, and then a couple of valve springs are broke, or one inner spring for sure broke, either on this head or the other casting. But other than that, I don't see a whole lot wrong with the cylinder heads wise. Obviously, I want you to, you know, do your thing. The whole, yeah, do your thing.
Make sure it's,
you know what I mean. And if there's anything that we're, you know, not sure about, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But knowing what you do with my stuff, this is, you know,
well, yeah, it's easy.
And then the gaskets, you know, the only reason I brought those is just to kind of show you like what's going on here, and then for you to help me make the decision, because the guys that do these motors, they say that these gaskets that they work good and they don't have any problems. But obviously finding the valve springs broke and other things that I found in the motor makes me think this thing was on a heavy dot plot, carburetor was not tuned, and the nitrous was, they were just feeding it, you know what I mean, because there's a lot
whatever
of stuff.
It took to get to the other end and fix it later.
Yeah, exactly, because it wasn't theirs, you know what I mean. So I'm thinking that these deals weren't really given a chance, but it still doesn't, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. There's nothing in my brain, I can't wrap my brain around how these would even work, period. But so if I'd like for you to kind of go through this and say, just make the decision. If we can run these and work and they'll work, cool, we'll get some more of them. If this is not going to be the best thing for this setup, then let's O-ring it or dry deck, O-ring, whatever you want to do. So the whole point of having something this kind of exotic or whatever is so that we don't have to spray as much nitrous. So it makes
motor power.
It makes so much motor barefoot, or it makes so much power barefoot that this deal, it's not like it's got 3 kits or not. It's got one single fogger. We're gonna have 300 in it, 400 in it tops. I mean, on a 28-inch tire, you're not gonna be, you spray. I mean, you're getting into the 1700 horsepower territory. You're not gonna. It'll be the last quarter second of the run when you get to full 100%.
You know, you get into this situation here. That's then.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
You know, we did a single wire where there's just a single wire. Yeah.
Oh, like an S or something?
Yeah, it was an S-type wire. But even at that point, at about 60 passes, he was had to put head gaskets in. They wasn't blown, but
they just were seeping or leaking or whatever.
Yeah, you could leak.
His was also under pressure, right?
Yeah, pro-charged.
So
yeah,
I'm not sure if that is it better or worse for us. Being that this is nitrous, we may have it apart every 30 passes. Who fucking knows? The thing is, we were hoping that the rods, because it only had supposedly 30 passes on it, we were hoping the rods would last us until the end of the year. But I don't care if they got 10 passes on them. As hard as they were on a dot plot or a rev limit, like
aluminum rod.
Yeah, but as hard as they're cutting cylinders to make it get down the track on a small tire or whatever they were doing here, to break all those valve springs and break head studs and all that shit, like in order to do that, you have to have a pretty heavy cylinder cut under load. Which means those rods just went from 30 passes to who fucking knows. I mean, so I think maybe I'd like to know what you think about the bearings and the surfaces. And if you think that this thing looks like it's got 100 passes on it, not 30, or it looks like it's got, you know, hard ones, then we need to get a set of rods for it too. Because we break a set of rods, this deal's fucking junk.
That's aluminum block, isn't it?
Yeah, cast, hip. But still.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, you just get into, it's so thin here, that wire thing really gets into, you know, possible.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I'm not used to, my small block is not 4.4 bore space. My Pontiac stuff is, that's the only good thing about it is Pontiac bore spacing is a little weird.
You got plenty of room.
So, the other thing is, you know me, I can't stand running water through the deck surface. I just think it's the dumbest fucking possible idea. So, if you think we need to keep water in the block and run water through the block and stuff on this deal, we will. If you think there's so many fucking holes in it, if you think that dry decking it is stupid or it's going to move around and cause more problems, then I don't want to do it. But if you think
you're going to run water through the head,
ice water's all over, will run through it.
Okay.
The guy who was running it though, I just had a fucking radiator on, and he was,
yeah, I mean the nitrous deal, you're just about going to have water in it.
Yeah, well, I think you know all the nitrous stuff that I've ever worked on, they ran better with ice water through the head, and you know nothing going through the deck.
Yeah, I mean we can dry deck it. I mean that's not a.
I mean if you think it needs it, if you don't, then you know, then we don't. The only reason that I've always done the preach the dry deck and in the tune-ups and the plugs and everything I've ever seen on the pan back and you know temperature, pressure, whatever, is like everything I've ever seen says
you don't get into getting water in the motor.
You don't get water in the motor, and then you don't have as much of this where it's going to the head stud looking for water and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean you've seen some of my stuff at 300 passes they don't look like this.
No.
You know what I mean?
That's that wouldn't have lasted another 4 or 5
I think
passes.
it didn't last the last one. I think it probably swelled up the radiator or something, you know what I mean? Because
well yeah, with this here it was hunting for this.
As soon as I put pressure in the cylinder, because you got to pull the fucking valve springs off to get the head off the. You knew this, right? I didn't know this. Dude, I stared at it forever, going, "There's no way this is how you do this. There's no. How can you have a nitrous motor that you can't pull the head off in 10 minutes? Like you got to."
Shane's motor, you got to pull the valve springs off. Rogers, that green truck, you got to pull the springs off of it.
That's insane. But anyway, so we've got the short block out here, which looks worse than all this. But on the heads, whatever you want to do, and valve springs, all that stuff. Obviously, I'm probably gonna, or she, since it's her deal, she's gonna want you to just, you know, finish the short block out, and maybe even further than that. So whenever we get closer to that, I'll bring all the parts over, or whatever. But it's just a T&D stainless rocker, just like it's literally the same as my shit.
Yeah, same stuff.
And then, but it's got a good crank and shit. But dude, the cylinder walls and the pistons look like shit. It looks like it was at the bottom of the ocean floor in the Titanic or something. But you know how we like our stuff and how we run our stuff, so it's going to be on Q16, so it'll be oxygenated gasoline, and it's, you know, got 2 Braswells on it and probably a 400 shot. So whatever you think it needs, obviously, I don't want to rush this deal.
Okay.
This deal, no TV show waiting on this one. You know, I mean, this is legit street race shit here.
Yeah. Okay. We'll come around there, we'll unload this up and figure out what we got to do.
Well, first we'll go to the tele.
Yeah. Go to the ground.
Going to the ground?
Going to the ground.
What are you doing? Let me do that. What are you doing? Okay.
I'm not that old.
I'm not saying old. But it's my junkie that did here. Well, yeah, we got a few. The motor came with 4 spare pistons if we need them. There's little passes that are on it, you know, like I would think maybe rings and, you know, but worst case may need pistons, which would fucking suck, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks nasty, but it may not be.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. GibTech is who did the pistons. He said we can send them back to them and they can whatever coating is on them. He said they'll look brand new. But I was like, man, if it's not burnt, the coating just needs cleaning, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know nothing about camshaft or a degree or none of that stuff, so.
Okay, well, I can find out what, I can check the camshaft and see what it is.
It's supposed to have a really good crankshaft in it.
Yeah, it looks like a Windberg
This is
crankshaft.
scaring me. But other than that, yeah, why'd they, what's it, help me out. Why the fuck is there no goddamn distributor hole?
Well, there was.
Yeah, no, I realize that. Why'd they weld the fucking hole up?
Well,
because instead of just
is it got an internal oil pump in it?
Huh? No, it's external. It's an
external
internal sump, external pump, just like my motor.
Okay. They had to do something because of the oil system. Because without the distributor in it, the oil just runs out and runs down into the pan.
Oh, the galley goes through the distributor. And,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it does,
you know, the
yeah.
three galley plugs.
Yep.
The
It
one
goes
side,
on
it won't
side.
oil the lifters without something to block off the.
Yeah, because back in the day, we used to take a plug and drill a hole in it and thread the galley behind the distributor, a Pontiac deal, and put in there to restrict the oil to the distributor because it doesn't have priority main oiling. So yeah, so that's a plug. It's not just a cap. That's a plug that goes all the way down with a hole drilled through it, or what?
It's probably just turned on both sides. It's probably got an O-ring on the ones I make. I put an O-ring on the bottom and an O-ring on the top and thread it, and then put a little deal to clamp it, hold it in there, so you can take it out to clean it.
Yeah, the top of it's threaded, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, they welded it. And
So
No cleaning there.
That thread is in, so you can pull it out or whatever.
On
yeah,
the
well,
side.
I'll take it out.
Hi, puppy.
Fix it.
And then also anything on the oiling system too, like lifter bore, size, hold, whatever. Like anything you think on the oiling system needs work, we'll do it. You know me.
Okay.
We don't like to have those problems. You know, we like to, when we go to the racetrack, we like to race.
Yeah, not blow this deal up.
Yeah, if we blow it up, it's part of it. But like,
Yeah, there's
we don't
no
wanna-
sense in
there's
doing
no-
it for
yeah,
no
there's sense in
reason.
doing it
Yeah.
for no reason. No.
Yeah.
Since it's carbureted, it'd be pretty easy.
The dyno it?
Yeah, I'd really like.
We
to
couldn't
dyno.
spray
Really?
it. We couldn't
No,
spray- we
I
couldn't
don't want to
spray
spray
it.
it.
Yeah, we-
Honestly,
we-
you know what I mean.
yeah.
I just want to dyno it so I get used to knowing what the motor wants and likes and kind of an idea of what it's doing, and you know, that takes 30 pounds.
Between 30 and 40 pounds.
You can get 30 or 40 pounds off of a small block dart iron block
Yep.
by doing the lightning work on it.
Yep, the lifter valley, the back's all cut out.
Oh, the lifter valley too?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah, the back of it.
Dude, I
all
need to have that
carved
done.
out.
Yeah, I need to have that done to my 23 degree motor. That'd make it lighter. Okay, well, we'll get out of your hair then. Thank you very much as usual.
Alright.
Bye-bye, sweetheart. You're gonna be a star. You're gonna be a video star.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
Oh.
You gotta stay here though. You can't go.
She's like,
You gotta go
what?
back to work.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Alright, see you later.
See ya.
Alright.
Well, I know that I seem happy, and I know that I seem excited and stuff, and I don't mean to seem, you know, I don't want to seem like a dickhead when you're, you know, upset because we just dropped your motor off the machine shop, and he said, you know, in 4 weeks, 5 weeks maybe. Like, I know that sucks, and I'm sorry, and I don't want to seem excited, but at the same time, like, I mean, you know, it's gonna be better,
Yeah,
and we might get to dyno it. How cool would that be?
that'd be sweet.
See what that thing sounds. I want to know what it sounds like at, you know, 10,000 RPM
And not hurt.
and 1,500
Fresh.
horsepower.
1,500. You're silly.
How much do you think it'll make? Fresh, ready to go.
900.
If it makes 900 on his dyno, I'm just hoping that it makes more horsepower than any other small block Chevrolet, you know, 440 bore space, stock bore space, small block Chevrolet that he's dynoed. If we can get close to or at the top of that, then I know we're good. But I do know that his dyno, you know, like a lot of guys, engine builders' dynos it's stingy as hell.